Hi, this is Michael White from MusicProductionGuide.com, and you are watching WinkSound. In this video, I'm going to talk about the three-tiered mixing structure and how this can help you make professional sounding mixes. The first thing that I want to do when setting up my mix structure is to start by creating a series of auxiliary sounds. So I'm going to create some new tracks. I'm going to create 4 of them. In this case, they're going to be stereo auxiliary inputs. You can create anywhere from 3 to 6 or as many as 10, depending upon how many instruments you need to separate out. So the idea here is that we're going to group instruments together. One of the typical separations is to put drums, and maybe drums and percussion or drums and bass together. Another common one is to do guitars. So I'll start here with guitars, and then I'll move on to, for this particular session, we're just going to put background vocals, and then I'm going to put our lead vocal. Now, what we have here is mix stems, which are going to take inputs coming from all the individual tracks and then route them into the master fader. So we're inserting basically a stem in between the individual audio tracks and the master fader. With these tracks selected here, I now want to assign inputs. And what I typically do is I like to leave the first set of buses open for these individual tracks. Each input here is bus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. If I decide that I want to put the bass with the rest of the percussion and drums, what I want to do is I want to highlight all of the tracks. Notice that we also have a couple of auxiliary tracks. This one has a chorus effect, and we have a couple of reverbs for the drums. And those have to be included into the drum mix stem. That's very important, okay, because this is going to help to pull the sound together of the drums with the effects. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the outputs of all of these guys and I'm going to assign them to bus 1 and 2. By holding the Shift and the Option keys. So only the selected tracks will now go into bus 1 and 2. Now the signal feeds into here. The basic principle behind this is I want to be able to process the individual tracks individually. So I can apply an EQ and compression to the kick drum that's unique to the kick drum. And the same with the snare, toms, overheads, and all the other tracks that are members of this group. However, once I've put all those together and applied the effects processing that I have, I want to be able to process them as a group together. Now if I apply a compression here, what that's going to do is it's going to help pull together the sound of the effects with all the mixture of the individual members of that particular group. And this will help to congeal the sound and make it sound more solid. The output of this mixed with the guitar, background vocal, and lead vocal stems will go nicely into the master fader here so it can be processed and finalized in the stereo mix.
WinkSound is your source for free music and audio technology videos. Join the conversation by following WinkSound on Twitter and YouTube to keep up with everything you need to know about music and audio technology.